Motorcycle. Kentelly's door. What's over here? Science lab. Here we go. Looks kind of creepy down here too.
For the most advanced scientific center in the capital wasteland,
What's going
I find your...
Look, Dr. Zimmer, we've been over this. We don't know about your runaway robot, and we don't care. This lab is dedicated to solving real problems.
Yes, yes, yes.
What? Look
But
at all
Dr. Lee,
the produce.
Dr. Lee is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake, the technology in that android...
What's at stake? You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the paint job. Now, please.
Ignorance and facetiousness. That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed.
This guy's not communicating
You
very
can't
well.
even imagine the Commonwealth's accomplishments.
You know, if you're so smart, maybe you could help us, But no, that never even crossed your mind. Go peddle your selfishness somewhere else.
Fine, but I'm not leaving. Not until I've spoken to Dr. Lee. I'll be here when she's ready to abandon her chemistry set and talk real science.
Suit yourself.
The animosity. The animosity is real.
You there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire?
I'm wearing a gas mask. I think you could understand that I'm not an assistant. I'm not sure how many assistants wear gas masks all the time. You have a problem with the way I look?
How amusing. You've mistaken my metaphor for a derogatory remark. I need a local, you see, someone with verve. I've misplaced some very sensitive property.
Cut to the chase, Simmer. What's the job?
Ah, a woman of action. I knew I picked the right person for the job. Let me be clear. You won't be looking for a lost puppy or family heirloom.
Okay.
You'll be searching for an android. Do you know what an android is? No, I imagine you don't.
It's a kind of robot.
You see, we've moved beyond those primitive buckets you call robots and have created artificial intelligence. Sentient machines.
Just sounds like trouble.
Artificial persons that think and feel what we program them to. Occasionally their programming miscalculates. They get confused and wander off.
Confused. Sure. I need to know more about what I'm dealing with. What is an android exactly?
Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically.
So you're saying it looks just like a human? So any suggestions for finding this android?
Like I said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all.
Alright.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings.
Okay. Just another question. If this android wandered off, why would he want a new mind and a face?
Maybe he didn't exactly wander off. Maybe he fled. Escaped captivity, as it were, if he began to misinterpret his situation. It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life. Wipe away all memory, all guilt. Trick himself into believing he really is human. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how badly he wishes it so. I made him. I want him. End of story.
Kind of possessive, don't you think? Why would an android feel guilt? Come on, Zimmer. What aren't you telling me?
By God, you're as annoying as you are clever. Very well. I'll tell you what you want to know, if it helps you locate my property.
Sure.
The duty of this particular unit was the hunting and capturing of other escaped androids. Yes, others have escaped. It's one of the side effects of having such an advanced AI. Machines start to think for themselves, fool themselves into believing they have rights. And so,
Sounds kind of
this
terrible.
particular android may have believed he'd done something wrong, immoral, and wanted to forget those deeds. Satisfied now?
I guess. But another question. Okay. So if others have escaped, why are you coming after this one? This particular robot?
This particular android,
Android,
designation
sorry.
A321, is different, special, the most advanced synthetic humanoid I've ever developed. The others, like my escort Armitage there, are all older models, easily replicated. But A321? It will take years to recreate him. So you see, this android must be located at all costs. The others are all acceptable losses, but A321, he is irreplaceable.
Okay. I'd like to get this, have to go. Bye.
Of course you do.
Yes?
So I'd like to get this android side of the story.
Garza, when you get a chance,
This really
remove the
fascinates
empty
me.
water tanks in the
So I think I'm
gardens
gonna-
and put in the fresh ones.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow that quest. Hey, look, a bobblehead! Yes! It takes the smartest individuals to realize there's always more to learn. Yay! Garza. Dr. Lee, hello!
This is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him.
You can tell that underneath
You're
my gas
James's
mask?
daughter, aren't you? What are you doing here?
Wait, how do you know who I am? Have we met?
You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same.
Wow, that's a lot of questions. I'm trying to find my father. Have you seen him?
You mean you haven't?
No.
I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there.
Screw the vault. I'm not staying cooped up in there.
I see. So you decided to leave one of the safest places in the wasteland, even though it was in your best interest to stay. Sounds familiar.
Well, actually, people were
Well,
shooting
I'm
at
afraid
me.
your father is no longer here.
I had to leave, so... It wasn't exactly the safest place in the world, let me tell you. I'm sorry, could you please tell me where he's gone?
Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay, how about you tell me where the old lab is?
It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone.
Is there any way you can help me out?
Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I have problems of my own. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or you're chasing after him. I'm sorry.
Come on, isn't there anything you can do to help?
I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you.
Cool, I could use some stim packs. Thank you very much. Can you tell me more about my parents?
I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until Until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know?
I never knew my mother. What can you tell me about her?
Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you.
Why did she die? What happened?
Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could.
You weren't prepared? My mother is dead!
As I said, I am sorry. I'm afraid I can't go back and change the past.
Alright, okay.
Okay.
Tell me about this project you worked on with my father.
Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know?
What was the point of it?
It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated.
Why didn't it work?
We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just... too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment.
Why did you stop working on it? What happened?
You happened. It wasn't just
okay.
you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the purifier.
Alright.
Okay.
What is this lab? What are you doing here?
This is the Rivet City Science Lab. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule.
Okay, I guess that's good enough. See ya.
Good luck finding your father.
So I find it kind of ironic that I was born and father decided that I was more important than the project and decided to leave it. But then, once I reach adulthood, he decides I'm not so important and decides to go and go after the project once more. I mean, maybe that's not exactly right, because maybe he thought I was safe in the vault and everything was fine, but that's just not, it's not how it worked. It was just not true. I kind of call it, poor planning. Oh, look at this, it's a helicopter. I'm in a plane. They both fly, right? Mei Wang.
Stay away from me! What do you want? Are you one of them?
I'm not going to hurt you. What are you scared of?
I suppose it doesn't matter if I tell you. I used to be a slave. I saw a slaver on this ship. His name is Sister. I'm afraid he's after me.
So you're an escaped slave? Now I understand.
No! Please don't tell Sister. I think he's a slaver. I don't want to be taken by him.
Here's 25 caps. Maybe you can buy yourself a gun.
Thank you. I'll go to Flak and Shrapnel's just before closing. I don't have anything to give you, but I think I can trust you with a secret.
Okay.
If you ever go up north, there is a secret slave hideout called Temple of the Union. You might find them useful.
Okay. Good to know. Activate. Welcome to the Capital Preservation Society. Oh, look, there's the Constitution, Gettysburg, Monroe Doctrine, Declaration of War in Germany, Declaration of War in China. Huh. Let's take some Nuka-Cola. Is this like a museum or something? Abraham Washington?
Quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history.
Did you choose that name yourself? It's an interesting collection of garbage.
One man's garbage is another man's treasure trove. Don't underestimate these documents. They may not look like much, but their value is immeasurable. Or would be anyway, if only I possessed one more item.
What's missing is my ability to stay awake in this snoratorium.
My friend, the sleeping fox catches no moss. Would you
Why
want
would
to
he
miss
want
out
to?
on the opportunity of a lifetime?
Who cares?
Your rude tone leads me to believe you aren't interested in a little proposal I have for you. Now, will you hear me out? If not, we don't have much more to talk about.
Alright, fine. What document are you missing?
In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than Thomas Jefferson himself. It was the day the United States of America earned its name and secured its place in history. This magnificent achievement took form in the Declaration of Independence.
Let me take a leap of faith here. You want me to find it for you?
Indeed I do. Without the Declaration, the rest of these relics are almost meaningless. I must have it. Acquire the document for me, and you'll be awarded most handsomely. What do you think?
Slow down there, Gramps. What's this reward you're talking about?
You'd secure your place in history. The woman who rediscovered the Declaration of Independence. Imagine the fanfare.
Can we stop beating around the bush, please? What's the reward?
Sorry, my mind tends to wander. I will see to it that you receive a worthwhile trade. I have in my possession the only known schematic for the creation of something called the railway rifle. Bring me the Declaration, and it's yours.
Alright. I'll see if it, fits in my journeys. And if it does, good. And if it doesn't, you'll just have to live with it.
Excellent! You won't regret it, I promise you. Imagine, you are taking part in another chapter of American history. I envy you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives.
Can you show me how to get to the National Archives on my map?
In the D.C. ruins, you'll find the National Archives, or what's left of it anyway. The building should contain the document in a protective glass case. Be careful. The place is swarming with super mutants. Here, let me pinpoint its location for you.
Thanks. See ya.
Be careful. The archives are infested with who knows what.
Alright, well, if I get to it, I get to it, and if I don't, I'll deal with it. Support our troops. Buy war bonds today. Super Duper Mart. From groceries to electronics, gardening supplies to home decor. Super Duper Mart has it all. Okay. Oh, Super Duper Mart. Now hiring for all positions. Well, I don't think you want to work there now. Oh, what's over here? Anything? Guessing these are just... That looks like the Declaration. Whatever. What does he have in his room? Some whiskey. Oh, I could take it. Yes. What? Ammunition boxes? Flamer fuel. No, I don't need that. I shall take this though. Suitcase. Ruined books. Refrigerator. Nah, I'll leave your food for you. I'll leave you your food. I don't really need it anyways. Oh, I guess it's just a random room there, okay.